of Delhi have won. Trouble mounts for Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. The centre gives nod to prosecute Sisodia and Delhi Snoopgate case. Sisodia calls it a fake case. BJP workers who protested against the killing of an army man by a DMK Neta booked. Tamil Nadu BJP chief questions law and order under Stalin. Actor Alia fumes after she was clicked by paparazzi inside her house. Lashes out, calls it a violation of privacy. All right, viewers, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde's first reaction after the Supreme Court has decided not to put the EC decision of awarding the symbol and the party name to the Shinde faction on hold. The opposition asked to put a stay on Election Commission's decision. Supreme Court has denied to put it. Shiv Sena and the symbol will stay with us, which is EC's decision, says Eknath Shinde. Listen in.
कोर्टाकडे निवडणूक आयोगाच्या निकालावर विरोधी पक्षांनी स्थगिती मागितली होती. ती स्थगिती नाकारलेली आहे. शिवसेना आणि धनुष्यबाण निवडणूक आयोगाने घेतलेला निर्णय कायम ठेवलेला आहे. त्यामुळे आणखी जी काय पुढे सुनावणी होईल त्याच्यावर पुढे निर्णय होईल. परंतु आत्ताच्या परिस्थितीमध्ये जे निवडणूक आयोगाने दिलेला निर्णय शिवसेना पक्ष कुणाचा आणि धनुष्यबाण या बाबतीमध्ये त्यांची याचिका फेटाळलेली आहे.
All right, so what made Eknath Shinde say what he just did? It's come right at the back of what is seemingly a setback by the Supreme Court for Uddhav and his Sena. The top court has now refused a stay on the EC order, which allotted the Shiv Sena name along with the bow and arrow symbol to Eknath Shinde. Uddhav had moved the Supreme Court challenging the EC decision. With the Supreme Court order, now Eknath Shinde gets to retain the contentious symbol while Uddhav will continue with the flaming torch symbol. The court also got an assurance from the Shinde faction that they will not issue any whip or take over bank accounts or party offices of the Shiv Sena.
The final hearing will take place post the holy vacation before the Supreme Court now. So we'll have to wait the final verdict. But at the moment, the court found that there's no ground for any interim stay of any of the findings of the Election Commission. Well, for the time being, we have been declared as the real Shiv Sena.
Yes. And
everything that we're legal and entitled to, which Mr. Shinde is legally entitled to, I suppose he will take in the interim. I can't speak for, I can't speak for that aspect at this stage. It's a decision which Mr. Shinde will consider and take on his own.
आता या क्षणी मी इलेक्शन कमिशनने दिलेल्या निवडाला थांबवत नाही, रोख लावत नाही, त्याला स्थगिती देत नाही. परंतु आपले जे सदस्य आहेत त्यांच्यावर कोणती कारवाई करायचा जर यांनी प्रयत्न केला तर त्याला आम्ही स्थगिती देत आहोत. पुढील 2 आठवड्यामध्ये त्यावर कोणतीही कारवाई शिवसेना उद्धव बाळासाहेब ठाकरे गटाच्या सदस्यांवर करता येणार नाही अशी त्यांना आम्हाला थोडासा रिलीफ म्हणूया आपण दिलासा दिला. आणि 2 आठवड्यानंतर हा सुद्धा मूळ विषय जो आहे त्याची पण सुनावणी 2 आठवड्यानंतर आपण करू असं त्यांनी म्हटलं.
यही बताया कि डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के बारे में निर्णय ये लोग ले सकते हैं, बैंक अकाउंट और प्रॉपर्टीज के बारे में निर्णय ले सकते हैं. तो हमारे जो लॉयर है महेश जेठमलानी जी और कौल जी, उन्होंने माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के सामने कहा कि अभी तक हमारा वैसा विचार नहीं है. फिर भी माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय की जो टिप्पणी थी कि इंटरनल पार्टी की जो प्रोसेस है उसमें भी हम स्टे नहीं दे सकते, पार्टी उसके लिए फ्री है. और जो माननीय निवडणूक आयोग का जो निर्णय उसके अगेंस्ट हम अभी फिलहाल तो स्टे नहीं देंगे. और कल हमने राष्ट्रीय कार्यकारिणी में एक रेजोल्यूशन भी पास किया है कि एक एक्शन कमेटी फॉर्म की है, तो इसके बारे में वो एक्शन कमेटी निर्णय ले सकती है.
संगठन का गैर इंश्योरेंस कैसे हो सकता है उसका उदाहरण अभी हम लोगों को देखने के लिए मिला. इलेक्शन कमीशन ने ऐसा कभी डिसीजन लिया है हमने देखा नहीं. कि एक राजनीतिक दल उस राजनीतिक दल के नेतृत्व के हाथ से निकाल कर और किसी के हाथ में नहीं रहना है। बाला साहब ठाकरे ने अपने आखिरी दिनों में अपने सभी साथियों को ये कहा कि मेरे बाद शिवसेना की जिम्मेदारी उद्धव ठाकरे को दी गई।
देश की सर्वोच्च न्यायपालिका ने आज श्रीमान उद्धव ठाकरे जी को करारा झटका दिया। वे चाह रहे थे कि चुनाव आयोग ने शिवसेना नाम के विषय में जो फैसला दिया है उस पर न्यायपालिका रोक लगाए। अदालत ने स्पष्टता से उसे नकार दिया। यह श्रीमान महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी और उनके साथियों की बहुत बड़ी जीत है।
All right, let's cut across to our two experts who are joining us for more. Sahil Joshi, live from Mumbai, a Mumbai bureau chief. Joining him is Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor. Rajdeep, expected lines on the decision made by the Supreme Court?
Yes, Preeti, in the context of, if you look at precedents, the Supreme Court has been reluctant to intervene in any symbol order given by the Election Commission, and this dates back to the early 1970s, the Sadiq Ali judgment, when the Congress party of Indira Gandhi was split at the time. So, to expect that the symbol issue would be decided in the Supreme Court was unlikely. But clearly there are question marks over the entire defection process. The fact that you've got a political party like the Shinde Sena, which had the legislative majority, but therefore can it claim to be the real Sena without merging into another party as per the 10th schedule? So there are legal ticklish questions which the Supreme Court still has to answer. But you see, this battle is being fought now politically. From now on, this battle right up to the BMC elections, as and when they are held later this year, will be fought politically. Every step taken by the court, every step taken by either side will have political repercussions. We are already seeing the manner in which the Shinde Sena, or the Shiv Sena as it is now called, has taken over the parliamentary office in Delhi, the Vidhan Sabha office in Mumbai, and thereby Uddhav Thackeray, in a sense, is being sent out a message that you don't even control the party offices. He will therefore have to take his battle to the street. So I think what you're seeing now is, irrespective of what happens with the law, the real battle eventually will be fought on the political plane. But legally, it is a huge advantage at the moment to the Shinde Sena, particularly because not only do they have the organization now, they have the resources, and it appears for now they have the law with them. Most importantly, mere paas BJP hai, is what Eknath Shinde could say.
Sahil, mere paas BJP hai, the legal battle won by Eknath Shinde, in power, the machinery with him. Well, Uddhav Thackeray would go ahead and say, mere paas Bala Sahib Thackeray hai. But how do you see the Uddhav Sena now take the political fight forward? They've done the posturing, and now's the time to do the hard mile. Do they have a political plan to maybe cash in on a possible sympathy wave?
Well, the only option right now for Uddhav Thackeray is, and whatever happens in the Supreme Court, whatever happens with the Election Commission case, as well as the Constitutional Bench, the case which is going on in front of the Constitutional Bench. The only option right now for him is to rebuild his party. I mean, Sharad Pawar a few days back have said it very clearly that, you know, the legal fights will go on. But the option in front of Uddhav Thackeray is to build his brand now, to rebuild his brand, if specifically what he has said, to reform his party, because any which ways he will have to go with a clean slate, a new kind of a Shiv Sena. He has to take it forward to the voters at this point of time. So the only option for him to tour the state, and what I have heard is that from 5th of March, he's planning to tour the state at this point of time. From 5th of March, he will be traveling from Ratnagiri. He'll be joining hands with the new people in the Sena, because the cadre which he had developed, the MLAs are no more with him. The 40 MLAs have already left him. So the only option to him is that. Secondly, the other option, the other thing what I can see is that they're taking the fight step by step. Right now, the priority for Uddhav Thackeray camp was to how to avoid disqualification in the coming assembly session, because the Shinde group, as soon as they got the symbol and the party name from the election commission, they won the case in the election commission. In the upcoming assembly session,
Right.
they could now issue whip to the Uddhav camp MLAs. So at least in the Supreme Court, the Shinde camp has promised the Chief Justice that they are not going to issue any kind of a whip till the time the hearing is will be on in the Supreme Court. But Supreme Court has made it very clear that at this point of time, they do not want to intervene. They want to hear all the three parties, and only after that they will come to any kind of a conclusion. So it's going to be tricky. It's on the
Right.
thin line. It's a big blow for Uddhav Thackeray. We have to understand that the party which was formed by his father, the party which which gave rise to 2 chief ministers at least, and this is the third one. That party, nobody had ever thought that the party will be led by somebody who doesn't have a Thackeray surname, and today that is the reality at this point of time. Uddhav Thackeray now on his own, and he will have to create a new political forum on his own. That is a very difficult challenge if you look at the scenario at this point of time. As Rajdeep has rightly said, he'll have to create that sympathy, because finally
Right.
there are the cadre who have never imagined Shiv Sena without Thackeray, and they have to, Uddhav Thackeray will have to cash in on that.
Well, you're right there. He's lost the Naam and the Nishan. But another thing, not just build a new political quorum, he'll also have to build a completely new language when it comes down to his style of politics, because it was very different, and he doesn't quite have much time going in from there. So I'll appreciate you joining us. Rajdeep, I'll ask you to stay back and join us on the other big developing story, and that is the politicking in the run-up to 2024 general elections. Now, there seems to be chatter, banter, especially coming in from certain opposition, like-minded opposition parties, some of them now seeming to reach that compromise where the Congress could be the only option when it comes down to the fulcrum of opposition unity. But is it still a distant dream? Because a lot of regional satraps still not on board. The Congress has declared that it wants to lead an anti-Modi alliance in 2024. Mr. Kharge said it today. But the other parties are divided. While some are on board with the Congress, some have clearly for now opted out, possibly wanting to see how the dust settles in the upcoming 9 elections through the course of the year.
लोग कहिएगा, अब बाकी अन्य पार्टियों का फोन आ रहा और सब लोग कह रहे हैं कि बाकी लोगों का सबका मीटिंग कीजिए, एक साथ बैठिए, तब जान लीजिए हम वेट कर रहे हैं खाली। अब आप लोग इतना जल्दी, हम इसीलिए हम वेट कर रहे हैं, नहीं तो बाकी और पार्टियां थी, बहुत सारी पार्टियां एकजुट होने के लिए तैयार बैठी हुई है।
His SOS to Congress, and Congress received it with a swipe.
हमें किसी को सर्टिफिकेट देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि हमें नेतृत्व करना है, क्योंकि कोई भी विपक्ष की एकता कांग्रेस के बिना असफल होगा। विपक्ष की एकता एक परिणाम हो सकता है भारत जोड़ो यात्रा का, और इस पर विचार होगा प्लीनरी में। क्या रूप लेगा वो हम अभी नहीं कह सकते, पर जो नीतीश कुमार जी ने बयान दिया है हम उसका स्वागत करते हैं।
In political circles, the Bihar Chief Minister's call also appeared to indicate Congress may not yet be fully active in cobbling together a Mahagathbandhan. Congress, with trusted allies on its side already, has asserted its claim on preeminence in national politics. On the heels of Rahul Gandhi's crowd-pulling Bharat Jodo Yatra, the party has declared itself as the obvious fulcrum of a bigger, unified opposition in the Lok Sabha elections due next year.
In 2024, the alliance government will come in center. Congress will lead.
The Congress president insisted his party is already in talks with opposition groups to devise their election strategy.
We are talking with other parties because otherwise the democracy and constitution will go. Therefore, with every party, now and then, we are calling, we are talking, we are sharing our views how to win 2024.
But the recent uproar in Parliament over the Adani issue signalled bringing all opposition groups on a common platform could be easier said than done. Take, for instance, Mamata Banerjee's TMC. It didn't vouch for Congress's demand for a JPC inquiry into the Adani matter. Instead, the TMC sought a court-monitored probe. No love lost between the two parties at the leadership level.
No. The history of the TMC. They came to Goa, spent huge amounts of money in Goa, and the idea was to help the BJP.
Congress has been fiercely critical of Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and doesn't see eye to eye with Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party either. Absence of top regional satraps from the anti-Modi camp during Bharat Jodo's finale too conspicuous to ignore. A Mahagathbandhan under a Congress umbrella could still be too elusive to catch. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, let's cut into the latest news break because what Rahul Gandhi said of the TMC in Meghalaya, TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee has countered it with a scathing attack. Abhishek Banerjee has said Congress has failed to resist the BJP. Their irrelevance, incompetence and insecurity has put them in a state of delirium. I urge Rahul Gandhi to revisit their politics of vanity instead of attacking us. Our growth isn't driven by money, it is driven by the love of people. By the same logic, when Congress contested 92 seats in Bengal election in 2021, was their idea to help the BJP. Rahul Gandhi's statement against, of course, the TMC is pretty rich, especially coming from a party that has lost 40 out of the last 45 assembly elections in India. It's gloves off, viewers. Far from unity, this is sparring right out in the open when it comes down to the TMC and the Congress. Earlier, what made Abhishek Banerjee say what he just did is earlier Rahul Gandhi in Meghalaya had slammed the TMC. Listen in.
You know the violence that takes place in Bengal. You know the scams, the Sharda scams that have taken place. So you're aware of their tradition. They came to Goa, spent huge amounts of money in Goa, and the idea was to help the BJP. And this is exactly the idea in Meghalaya.
All right, let's quickly cut across to Rahul Srivastava, our consulting editor, who's joining us for more on this. You know, Rahul, it's bizarre the kind of language, because this would seemingly be a Congress versus the BJP. But the Congress also needs to step back a little and understand where is it talking from. It's no longer the Congress of, the yesteryears to use language such as this, or even the arrogance of what certain spokespersons or leaders of the Congress, the kind of language they've used in the recent past, including the likes of Jairam Ramesh.
Preeti, I think slightly otherwise, because I think it has taken a long time coming for the Congress to actually come to this point where Mallikarjun Kharge makes a statement like this, that come 100 Modis and Shahs, it will be the Congress which will be leading the coalition. It takes certain amount of effort and 3,500 over kilometers of long walk by a leader to get the confidence for Jairam Ramesh to say that nobody should be reminding us of our role. I think this is the first time since 2019, January, February, when Rahul Gandhi made that famous remark that they will be fighting on the front foot in Uttar Pradesh. That kind of positioning by the Congress. Otherwise, I think the Congress has been vacillating. The Congress has been very unsure about its footwork. If we talk about cricketing parlance, this is the first time the Congress threatened terribly by players like Arvind Kejriwal in Punjab, in Gujarat, Mamata Banerjee in Meghalaya and other states. I think the Congress has, the Yatra has done one positive. The Congress's key attempt was to reposition itself as somebody which is going to lead the opposition pack against the Modi government. Now, in that, it needed certain amount of confidence, Preeti, because remember, though Arvind Kejriwal may say it that he has got a place, Nitish Kumar is waiting with a knife and a fork to eat the cake. Mamata Banerjee is there, of course, trying to deny the Congress that space. We just spoke about the sparring between Rahul Gandhi and Abhishek Banerjee. The fact remains that a pan-national outfit like the Congress needs to be part of an opposition fulcrum. It cannot be somebody else. And in that, though there might be rifts in the Congress party or in the opposition camp, but the Congress needs to be there. Yes, there are pitfalls. There will be Mamata Banerjee. There will be Arvind Kejriwal. But I think from here on, the Congress needs to do much better. Say, for example, in Akulloto in Nagaland, where Mallikarjun Kharge was speaking, the BJP already has a walkover. The Congress candidate has withdrawn from the contest. The Congress has to win elections in 2023 if that 2024 aim has to materialize.
Rahul, appreciate you joining us, with your perspective there. We're going to keep a keen eye on how things develop, but interesting right now. Abhishek Banerjee coming out and slamming Rahul Gandhi at the back of the statements made by Rahul Gandhi in Meghalaya. With that, I'm going to go into a quick break. To stay with us on the other side is To The Point.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other. Now, Business Today presents the future.
Could I request Mr. Arun Puri, our Editor-in-Chief, to come up on the stage with the Finance Minister as we unveil the anniversary issue of Business Today. This is the 31st anniversary of India's #1 news magazine.
Preeti produces a cover with an AI avatar of Pichan on its 31st anniversary issue. Visit businesstoday.in/subscribe and subscribe now.
Rahul Gandhi didn't get convinced by you. In fact, he said that, I think you were, I don't know the exact words, but I think he said that you did not know much about foreign policy matters. You needed to learn a little more.
Well, let me put it to you more accurately. This wasn't at a parliamentary committee. But in parliamentary committees, we have interacted, but usually what happens in parliamentary committee, I try to keep to myself, so I will not get into it with you either. This, I think, was something he said at some kind of public meeting. I think it was probably in the context of China, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's not convinced about China.
Yeah, but I mean,
he thinks that you are opaque about it.
I don't know whether it's opaque or whether, there was a sort of a level of knowledge, understanding. I mean, all I can say in my defense is I have been the longest serving ambassador in China. I have been dealing with a lot of these border issues for a very, very long time. I would say, let me put it to you this way. I'm not suggesting I'm necessarily the most knowledgeable person, but I would have a fairly good self-opinion of my understanding of what is out there.
Okay.
But, if he has superior knowledge, wisdom, I'm always, as I said, for me, life is a learning process.
Superior knowledge, wisdom on China?
If he has, I'm always willing to listen.
Okay. And learn from Mr. Rahul Gandhi on China?
If you think that that's a possibility, I have never closed my mind to anything, however improbable it is. We are not debating just a documentary or a speech that somebody gave in a European city or
New York.
a newspaper edit somewhere. We are debating actually politics which is being conducted ostensibly as media. So there is a phrase, war by other means. There is also, think of it, this is politics by another means. But you'll do a hatchet job. Then you want to do a hatchet job and say, well, this is just another quest for truth which we decided after 20 years to put out at this time. So I mean, come on, you think the timing is accidental? Let me tell you one thing. I don't know if election season has started in India and Delhi or not, but for sure it has started in London and New York.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
This is a very important development, as we have seen last year also. When the seed setting happens for the winter crop, there is requirement to have a particular temperature range so that proper seed setting should happen. Last year, we have seen that problem with the wheat crop, whether it was a reduced yield or shrinked grain formation, that was due to wheat, this climatic impact because of higher temperature. This year also, because wheat season yet to, we have to harvest and the temperature is already high. So we have to be very careful about the conditions. I'm sure that state governments must be doing field surveys and giving suitable instruction to the farmers. But we have to be careful because these trends are really shifting. And also the same with mustard, because that's also a parallel crop which happens in the same season. So now climate change is actually impacting the food security around the world. One is due to uneven weather implications and also due to the seed setting, which is vital for food production.
Right. So do you also believe this could have an impact on wheat yield and the crop output for this year?
It may happen because we have to just monitor it. And as the IMD is forecasting, if every 5-degree increase in temperature, there will be a direct impact of about 20% yield. Now, it depends upon what is the crop status, what is the seed formation status. And sometimes you can address it by some form of irrigation and better nutrition. But seed setting happens in an open air. And temperature at that time is very, very vital. One has to look at it. And now this is adding new challenge to India's food security, this climate change. So this may impact yield and quality both.
Okay, and what about inflation? Would it also lead into higher inflation because of the impact on the crop output?
I don't think inflation will be that much because we have it, if you look into total production and consumption within India, we have sufficient stocks and the production is more than what we need. What will happen is the surplus which we used to generate, that will go down. Okay. It may have a psychological impact on the trade. They may not be able to do enough milling or stocking as they used to do. Maybe because of psychological factors, there may be some zones where prices may go up. But all depends upon, we have to wait till March end or April. What is the actual cost, what is the quality and the yield of wheat crop?
But 100% this will impact the surplus amount that we would always register. That will go down for sure.
Yes, yes. Because if we are producing about 110, even if that goes down by 5% or 10%, it is 5 to 10 million tons. So that's why there is a surplus impact which will happen. And other industries which are dependent on wheat or exports or processing industry may get impacted. But overall, I don't see a food crisis in India, but definitely surplus may have impact.
Warm welcome viewers, you're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. There have been two developments that have taken place for the Aam Aadmi Party. One fabulous and the other not so fabulous. One, well, after 3 failed attempts, the Supreme Court stepping in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party today elected its mayor and deputy mayor. The other, not so favorable. A setback for the Delhi Deputy CM, Manisha Sodia again. This time around, the Ministry of Home Affairs has given a sanction to prosecute the Delhi Deputy CM, Manisha Sodia, in an alleged snoop case after the CBI's request was approved by the Delhi LG VK Saxena. The CBI sought sanctions to register an FIR against Sisodia, who heads the Vigilance Department of the Delhi government. The feedback unit was created under this department in 2015 after the AAP came to power in Delhi. It's alleged, it's an allegation, that the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal moved the proposal in a cabinet meet in 2015, but no agenda note was circulated. No sanction from the LG was taken for appointments to the feedback unit as well. Well, in midst of all of this, viewers, also the Deputy CM Manisha Sodia has been called again on Sunday by the CBI in the entire liquor gate saga, with possibly a cloud where even he is admitted of arrest is hovering right over his head. He says it's political vendetta, but what's the inside information? I want to quickly cut across to my colleague Manish Pandey, who's going to break both the stories down for us. You know, Manish, it's a bittersweet day for the Aam Aadmi Party finally getting their mayor, but I want to pull you in on the other two developments. Number one, in the next 3 days, Manisha Sodia has once again been called by the CBI after he wanted a week to put the budget for the Delhi government in order before he goes to the CBI. He said an arrest is imminent. On the other front, now there's another case which the Home Ministry has given sanctions to open against him. Would you give us the details of both fronts?
Well, Preeti, as far as the prosecution sanctioned by the Ministry of Home Affairs is concerned, it simply means that now CBI will register another FIR against Manisha Sodia. And as far as the allegations are concerned, it is regarding the way this FPU unit, that is the feedback unit, was formed, the irregularities committed by the Aam Aadmi Party allegedly, and also by Manisha Sodia at that point of time. So in this FIR also, we have been given to understand is that Manisha Sodia will be accused number 1. So this will be the second FIR by the Central Bureau of Investigation against Manisha Sodia. Now, as far as excise policy is concerned, the Central Bureau of Investigation and their officials have already indicated that they have a solid evidence against Manisha Sodia, and this time when he will be called for questioning, he will be confronted with statements which have been given by certain witnesses, accused and suspects in the case against Manisha Sodia. And Manisha Sodia has already indicated, and he has come on record to say that his arrest is imminent. As far as CBI sources are concerned, they are saying that they will go by the evidence. They need clarity from Manisha Sodia. When he will appear before the agency on Sunday, and after going through all the clarifications